With 40% of New York's Mitchell-Lama affordable housing already expired and much more on the brink of expiration, city and state officials have been crying out for more affordable housing. But a funny thing happened in Gotham last week. The Real Estate Board of New York won its lawsuit against the city council to strike down the law that entitles residents of Mitchell-Lama housing to buy their buildings once the properties leave the subsidized program. Real Deal reporter Jen Benepe spoke to attorney Scott Mullen of Herrick Feinstein, who represented Rebney in their suit against the city.
Good afternoon, Mr. Mullen, and welcome to The Real Deal.
Thank you for having me.
Local Law 79 was passed by the City Council in 2005. What was that all about?
In an election year, in the middle of a hot primary for Democratic candidate for mayor, the City Council enacted a law which required owners of Mitchell-Lama housing projects and owners of certain federally subsidized housing projects to give tenants a right of first refusal.
Why did they do that?
Well, the articulated reason by the City Council was to protect affordable housing in New York City. However, the method that they chose, we believe, was illegal.
Okay, why do you think it was illegal?
We believe it was illegal because we believe in the fundamental principle that a deal is a deal. And when the government makes a promise to private industry, and when the government says, if you make an investment to build affordable housing, and if you agree to limit your profits to approximately 6% a year for 20 years, at the end of 20 years, you will be allowed to come out of regulation, we believe that government should be held to its word. And if it isn't held to its word, in the long run, it will end up discouraging investment in affordable housing.
Why shouldn't the tenants buy the properties? Isn't that fair? They'd be paying for it.
Well, most people in America like to have control of whether and when and on what terms they can sell their own property. And they don't like government coming in and telling you that you must sell to this particular person, you must sell on these particular terms.
In winning the lawsuit, what were the central arguments that the court used in deciding for Rebney? Because we know that they won the case. Congratulations.
Thank you.
On what legal grounds did the judge decide for Rebney?
The Supreme Court, New York State Supreme Court held that Local Law 79 was illegal and should be declared void, and the court went further and enjoined the City of New York from enforcing the law on the grounds that Local Law 79 had been preempted by both state law and federal law because there were state statutes, specifically, for instance, this New York State Mitchell-Lama law, which promised that after 20 years, owners would have the privilege, the right, to buy out of the program without the consent of government.
So much of Mitchell-Lama housing is going away. 40% has already been dissolved. Where will these people go and what will happen to them?
Rebney has been at the forefront of supporting the idea of increasing the amount of affordable housing that's available.
All right, so the Mayor Bloomberg, he originally vetoed Local Law 79, and then he also backed Rebney's position by putting Corporation Counsel behind your effort. Why did he do that?
Well, that's correct. The mayor felt very strongly that New York City needs affordable housing and wants to see much more affordable housing available to the citizens of New York, that the particular bill, Local Law 79, was an illegal bill. It violated federal statutes relating to federal housing programs, and it violated New York state law.
Can the City Council challenge or appeal this decision?
They have a right to seek appeal. We believe that the City Council will review the decision, and they will have to make a decision.
Let's say that you had to represent the other side, the City Council. How would you argue their case?
Had I been retained by the other side,
yes, exactly.
And had I had no choice but to represent them,
yes.
I would probably immediately think of the fact that in America everybody's entitled to counsel, but I would have been severely depressed at the idea that I would have a completely losing position that I would have to advocate. The fact is, it would be defending the indefensible. What I would have done is counsel my client to try to work in a positive and constructive way with Rebney and with the other arms of government to come up with a workable solution to the need for affordable housing.
Oh, I see. Sounds like you did a great job for Rebney. They were lucky to have you. Thanks for coming and speaking with us today at The Real Deal, Scott.
We appreciate giving us an opportunity to explain our position. Thank you very much.